Hey guys, it's time for another record store day video. Post record store day, after the fact, what did you buy? Did you get what you wanted? Did you get your grails? Are you happy? I'm kind of sick of seeing these videos, but this one is going to touch on some jazz stuff and some out there jazz. So if you're not sick of record store day videos already, let's squeeze in one more. Okay, first of all, I'm going to get the easy ones out of the way because you guys have seen these by the billion, and I did 2 videos already interviewing the producer creator of these 3 discs: Walter Bishop, Shirley Scott, Sonny Stitt, all at a club in Baltimore called The Left Bank. And these were all done by Zev Feldman. I interviewed him on the channel just a few days before Record Store Day. We couldn't get our schedule straightened out. And he was nice enough to send me these discs. So, real quick, a lot of people have already talked about these. Walter Bishop, sort of bebop era piano player. And let's see who plays on here. Harold Vick plays sax. Harold Vick is really all over this record. This sounds like a Harold Vick record in some spots because it's a lot of his solo stuff. And then Lou McIntosh on bass and Dick Burke on drums. I can't say I'm familiar with them. This is a numbered copy on reel-to-reel records and recorded in 1966 and 67, the Madison Club in Baltimore and the famous Ballroom in Baltimore. The Left Bank Jazz Society is really a society that could have concerts at different places, but most of them were at the Left Bank. And then Shirley Scott, Queen, what's it say? I'm sorry. Queen live at the Left Bank, George Coleman on sax. He is, again, one of the stars of this record. This is a very live, in-your-face, candid sounding recording. I haven't even listened to this one yet. Okay, I got so much stuff here. But both of these are 2-disc record sets. I listened to some of this online. Actually, I got access to the digital stuff online before Record Store Day, so I did listen to it that way. Starts right off with Impressions by John Coltrane. I was kind of surprised that that's a song that she does. And then, like, By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Jimmy Webb and Glenn Campbell. And Smile. And Girl Talk. Girl Talk, one of my favorite old jazzy tunes with totally inappropriate lyrics by today's standards. But Shirley Scott, I haven't listened to the vinyl yet. I think it's the only one here I haven't listened to. And then probably the most famous of the 3 at the Left Bank, Sonny Stitt. Sonny Stitt, great bop era saxophone player. And he made like zillions of records. But, you know, it's hard to follow his career. He made so many records with so many different labels. But this one was recorded. Oh, all these are all falling apart because I make a mess of my records. What do we got here? Beautiful booklet inside. Beautiful booklet, as always. And when I say that, I mean as always with Zev Feldman stuff. Interviews with all kinds of great people. And articles written by all kinds of great people. Kenny Barron, for example. Anyway, I'm going to skip over these real quick because I got too much stuff to show you. But Sonny Stitt bopping in Baltimore, live at the Left Bank. Okay, those are the 3 from Baltimore Left Bank. I'm going to set those aside. I did a separate video with Zev just going over these 3 because I thought the whole Left Bank Jazz Society was interesting enough to talk about on its own. So go check that out if you want. And then I also did an interview with Zev about the biggies that he released. Biggies? What do you mean by that, Greg? Biggie? The Eric Dolphy. Musical Prophet, the 2nd pressing. I'll explain that real quick. This is a 3-record set. And one of the records that is really kind of the, maybe the primo prize of Record Store Day for Jazz. Might be this one. Chet Baker, Blue Room, recorded in Holland, 1979. I guess at the Halverson Studios. Couple of 2 or 3 Miles Davis and Wayne Shorter tunes, and singing and scat singing and playing trumpet. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful record. And beautiful booklet in here. I've shown this already. Why are you showing it again? Because this is the after Record Store Day video. I did the before Record Store Day video that had, I already had all these records. But then let's go to Eric Dolphy, 3-record set. I don't think I'm gonna take it out. It's massive, it's expansive. It's a 3-way gatefold with 3 records. Here's the controversy, let me clear up with this record. This is the second pressing of a limited edition pressing. How is that possible? Well, the first pressing, I don't know if it was 2,000 or 4,000, but that sold out very quickly, and I was disappointed I didn't get one, to be honest. I probably would have paid full price for it. But such high demand, he made a second pressing of a limited edition. How do you do that? Well, the cover art is completely different. Same style, same graphics people, I believe, but a different photo. But he actually went to the trouble of remastering the record, just so he could have a second limited edition. So people ask me online, do they sound the same? Well, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm not going to sit and listen to 2 records of the exact same recordings just to tell you if they sound the same or not. Greg, that's what your job is as a vinyl reviewer. Well, I don't have another copy of the first one, okay? So let's just put it that way. I think they both probably sound great. So what this record is, okay, most of Zev Feldman's stuff is archival releases that have never been heard before. This is a little different because it is 2 albums, complete albums that were released in their own, on their own, Conversations and Iron Man, 2 famous Eric Dolphy records that you are not going to find a clean original copy of for less than maybe hundreds of dollars. So those 2 complete records are on here, plus a 3rd record, which is kind of the outtakes, unissued stuff. Okay, so that's what this record is. 2 records plus some other stuff. And what was I going to say? There's a song in here I really like. Let's see if I can talk. I can't remember. This has Prince Lasha on it. He was a cool old sax player. Woody Shaw is on here. Bobby Hutcherson is on here. Charles Moffett. Clifford Jordan on sax. So kind of an essential recording for Eric Dolphy people if you don't have those 2 already. Conversations and Iron Man. If you do have them, you probably don't have original clean copies because it's been re-released on a lot of goofy labels. Anyway, 3rd record he released that day, besides these 2 brilliant ones, are Bill Evans, My Hand is Empty. I don't have a copy. When I did the interview with Zev, he didn't have a copy, and I didn't have a copy. The record was so, I don't know the reasons. I guess it was such high demand. Don't waste one on me, Zev. I know you wasted one on Massey, but it's all logistics, okay? I get it. I'm super pleased that I got any of these records at a low cost of 0 in some cases. So the Bill Evans, I can't really discuss because I don't have a copy. I was able to listen to it online. It is turning out to be, what's the word? Popular, classic, well-reviewed. People love it. So that's the first half of my Record Store Day review, is the promo copies, review copies that I got from my good buddies Zev Feldman. Oh, Bill Evans, a controversy broke out after that. I'm only going to touch on it a little bit, but it turns out that through, let's call it snafu, the people in Europe may have gotten the beautiful booklet in their Bill Evans, and the people in America might not. And Record Store Day is when it is. And if your stuff is not ready to ship, you got to do something. You got to ship anyway. So they shipped the American copies without the booklet, but a QR code, which you can go on and get online, various places. With that QR code, you get access to the digital version of the booklet. Not as nice as having a real booklet, or maybe a way to get the real booklet if you already have one, if you email me. So that was one controversy. The other controversy is when that fact came out that the paper booklet wasn't available in some copies, somebody said, well, what do you expect when it's not an authorized release? And the person who said that is somebody who calls themselves Bill Evans' official blue check mark on Instagram. that's a relatively small account compared to the official real Bill Evans estate account, which is Bill Evans' son, which is the person that Zev worked with exclusively on 10 records now. So I'll say it again. If you don't think the stuff that Zev has done with the Bill Evans estate is official, don't go kvetching on Instagram. Tell it to your lawyers and you will lose, because, like I say, Zev has done 12 releases, which is probably, 25 or 30 physical discs of Bill Evans stuff with the full cooperation of the official Bill Evans estate. Okay. What else? Okay, so record store day. The day itself came. I went down there. Okay, first of all, I'm older than all you people. That means my back hurts. That means my man things, aren't like you young people that can stand in line for 4 hours. So I got to the store at 9:30. The line was longer than I've ever seen it. And this record store day was Swiftie Day. Taylor Swift dropped 75,000 records, copies of her record. So I did notice a couple dozen Swiftie girls, I guess any girl between the ages of 12 and 16. Not that I would notice them otherwise, but I can't really say the line was that long because of the Taylor Swift people. It was probably long because I got there late. Anyway, I got to the end of the line, snakes down through the mall, into the parking lot, out into the sidewalk, and I'm standing in front of a Chinese restaurant, and there's like 200 people in front of me and nobody behind me. And I stood there for like 10 minutes. I'm like, my back's hurting already. I'm just gonna go home. So I went home and I watched it unfold online. And a couple of hours later at this is at a store in Los Angeles, by the way, on Ventura Boulevard. So at home, I'm watching this thing unfold on either Facebook or Instagram. And the store that I went to said, hey guys, here's a list of everything we're sold out of. We still have everything else. So I'm like, the stuff I want, the stuff I really is on my list, ain't on that sold out list. So I'm gonna jump in the car and go down there. And when you get there at 2 in the afternoon, there's a little box, maybe 2 boxes that you can flip through. Hey, what's left? The dregs of record store day. And there were like 4 records that I really wanted. So I'm shocked that I got there super late and still got what I wanted. And the moral of the story is, old people who like jazz probably don't want to stand in line for 5 hours with a bunch of kids. I think that's the lesson. So let me show you what I got, because this is some cool stuff. And I was really surprised that it was there. And I absolutely love this. And let's go with some free jazz, people. We're getting very free, very jazzy. Oh my gosh, what is this? Check that out. This, you can't see it because of is that a fake Obi strip? Is that a real Obi strip? Max Roach, the amazing bebop drummer. Archie Shepp, the amazing jazz saxophone player who is still alive, did something in 1976. This is a French import, and their records look a little weird to me. A lot of the stuff isn't French, and the way they package it's a little differently. It's called Force, and to me that Force is probably, it looks like that fist you saw in the 60s a lot, the Black Power fist, I guess. But then it's a 2-record set, by the way, and there's Chairman Mao drowning. I don't quite get the political implications of everything that's going on here. Sweet Mao, Sweet Africa, 1976. Does that mean it was recorded in Africa? Greg, shouldn't you know that before you drop your video? Well, I don't read French. Anyway, it's not a gatefold. It is a double 2-record set. It's not a gatefold. In case there's any doubt in your minds, we have LPs that are 12 inches each. 2 12-inch records. To the French, I don't know what's going on with the French. Wait a minute. It is a gatefold. I just never opened it. I was afraid to open it because I don't know what's going to become of the Obi. Oh my God, it's a gatefold. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it's the way the cardboard's kind of thin. I didn't realize it was a gatefold. Good Lord. Okay. But it's all in French, and there's a picture, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Just chill. weird, opaque, sort of, what do they call that color? They call it amber or brown. Looks like a poop color to me. The other record's on the turntable. Don't move. It's a beauty. Just the right record? Yeah. Look at this beauty. Look at that. Can you see me? Isn't that gorgeous? So that was one of the big surprises of Record Store Day for me, is a lot of the records I bought, I didn't realize they were colored vinyl till I got them home. And I have no evidence that colored vinyl today, with today's modern substandard technology, I have no evidence that colored vinyl sounds any worse than black vinyl. Some people will tell you they know for a fact that it doesn't sound as good. That's silly, because you can't prove it. Okay, Force, Sweet Mao, Mao is there, oops, Mao is there drowning. And then the other records got the beautiful Fist in the Air. Put your fist in the air like you just don't care. Okay, so that was one of the records. And I got this for mid-high 30s. Oh, shout out to the record store I went to, okay. I usually don't mention them by name because you guys know some of the stores I go to. CD Trader, which now sells mostly vinyl. In Tarzana, California. I'm giving him a shout out because I got what I wanted, even though I showed up at like 1:30 or 2. And everything in the store, including the Record Store Day titles, were on sale. Minimum everything in the store was 10% off. Used stuff could be 20% off. I took advantage of that too. I just love the artwork on this, I really do. Oh, I didn't even tell you what the music is about, guys. It is just Archie Shepp and Max Roach. Just saxophone and drums, no bass, no piano, no chord instruments. That's kind of an unusual mind thing to be listening to. Just those two instruments, and it is very free jazz. It is, I want to say noisy, but Archie Shepp is very melodic. Even in his free jazz, he's melodic. He plays a lot of runs, a lot of, you know, up and down the what? The saxophone? Up and down runs. He plays a lot of runs as opposed to just Pharoah Sanders, I'm screaming at this note, you know. So that's what Archie Shepp does. That's cool. Another French import, another Archie Shepp on Record Store Day that I found late in the day. Archie Shepp at Massey, I guess Massey Hall. This is also in French, 1975, iconic, rare, avant-garde live recording. And these LPs are 12 inches, which is so exciting. This is definitely not a gatefold. Okay, 2 records. I can't believe I missed that. 2 records, no folding of the gate. What can I tell you about this music? Like where it was recorded would be good to know, or who played on it. This is a full band, if you will. Archie Shepp. Other players I haven't heard of. Charles Greenlee, Dave Burrell on piano, Cameron Brown on bass, Beaver Harris on drums. But I think these two are the same label, obviously. It's a weird Obi strip. Is that an Obi strip or is that just a hype strip? I don't know. And again, so you get artwork times 4 sides. You get colors, white vinyl. You get another color, I think. Ooh, check this out, pink vinyl. Can you see the pink? Pink vinyl. I can see you guys perfectly. So that's kind of a treat, a surprise. I don't need colored vinyl. Don't care if it's colored. Don't think it sounds worse. Archie Shepp. So really amazed and happy that I got 2 amazing free jazz records at Record Store Day without having to really wait in line. Although I had to drive there twice. You know, free jazz tends to be rare and expensive, especially the older records. So, anyway, I got some other stuff. Just hold on. Since everything in the store was on sale, I had to pick up some other little tidbits. And a total impulse buy of an artist I knew nothing about, but I loved the cover. And it was marked down and then on sale. So, you know I like bargains. You guys heard of Ray Angry? Ray Angry. So this is, he's a keyboard player, but he plays, you know, everything, synthesizer, organ, piano. He's kind of a modern guy who's played with a lot of groups. I think he's sort of a sometimes member of The Roots. And there's some hip players on here. Derek Hodge, who's a bass player who normally plays with Robert Glasper, and Derek Hodge has his own Blue Note contract. Same with Ambrose Akinmusere, also a Blue Note artist who plays trumpet, and Myron Walden on horns. So this is a more modern release than stuff I typically listen to. It's a little more soulful, a little more funky. I played one track for you on Instagram, which is kind of a, I don't want to say Wayne Shorter-like, but sort of late hard boppy, interesting composition. So that's Ray Angry. I like discovering new stuff. Like everything I buy, I've never heard before. Okay, so you get that. All right, another pseudo record store day. Record I've talked about before. Finally have it on vinyl. Shabaka Hutchins. He is one of the up-and-coming saxophone players the last several years. British guy. This was Record Store Day Black Friday last November, and it was still sitting on the shelves, and it was on sale, and I wanted it, so I got it. Oh, this record's called African Culture. So Shabaka, you may know from Sons of Kemet, and I think he may have other bands that you should know that I should know. I have at least one Sons of Kemet. African Culture. By the way, I love this cover. This is like a vintage old camera, old photography process. I think this would be considered a silver gelatin photo. Super shallow depth of field on the photo. You can see he's only in focus up to the nose and the eyes, and then the back of his head is out of focus. Very fast lens, very low light. Good picture. Mazzy can tell us what it's all about. Maybe he knows the photographer. So this is a record that is sort of very unconventional jazz from American standards, but it's got a lot of African stuff going on in it, a lot of unusual instrumentation. Shabaka also, besides sax, does a lot of flute stuff and, you know, African flute, which I can't pronounce, but that's on here. So, also was surprised that this is color vinyl. Didn't know when I bought it. Let's see, what color is that? Do you care? Kind of a brick red color. Not a beautiful color, but whatever. Small disappointment with this record. Only 28 minutes of music. 1, 2, 3 of the songs are under 2 minutes long. And when you're doing free jazz and spiritual jazz, you know, the songs usually go on for 20, 30 minutes of just, you know, noodly stuff. So I'm kind of surprised they couldn't stretch this out to a little bit longer. Greg, are you complaining about the money, you cheap Jew? I'm complaining because I didn't get enough Shabaka. That's all. How's that sound? Is that a good comeback? And then, as I was looking through their stuff, I found a weird classical record. It was on sale. It was like probably $4 out the door. I'm intrigued by stuff from foreign countries. Like, this is a Russian pressing, and Prokofiev piano sonatas, and then Samuel Barber, who's an American, piano sonata. Samuel Barber wrote Adagio for strings, that, you know, saddest piece of music ever from the movie Platoon, and I didn't really know he had a piano sonata, but I'm intrigued by the whole, the card fell out. This is like really heavy vinyl, and everything's in Russian. Anybody read Russian out there? What about upside down Russian? The vinyl looks really clean, but as you'd expect from a Russian pressing, it's poppy. It's got a lot of ticks and pops. Maybe a good cleaning will help. But, you know, I like oddities. I like weird stuff, as you may know. I have more records to show you that aren't Record Store Day. So maybe I'll save those for another video, because it's just not fair, because not enough of you people hang out to the bitter end. So I'm going to, that sounds weird, doesn't it? I'm going to save these till the next video, Alan Brofman and Alan Brofman. Okay, just a sneak peek. 25 minutes, that's way too long, isn't it, guys? That's my Record Store Day Jazz experience, guys. So thanks for watching. And what else can I tell you? All right. I don't know. Bye.